All right, guys, welcome back to Between the Rallies. This is episode 7. I have an extremely special guest. We have Evan Slaughter, also known as Fit to Serve. Thanks so much for coming on the show. First off, you've just been a big inspiration to me. I've been following you for a long time. You are making content in both CrossFit and in pickleball, so you're all over my page. So thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it. I look forward to talking with you. And yeah, I always love talking about pickleball. So,
I love it. All right, let's get right into it. So how did you find pickleball?
so I found pickleball oddly enough in rehab. So I had been injured in Afghanistan back in 2011, 2012. And while I was in the army, I was struggling because I was on so many different pain medications. When I got out of the army, it was tough to get off of them. I've always had like addiction issues in my family. And so I struggled on and off, trying to get off of them, and then finally went to this place in Alabama where I'm from, and it was like 3 months long, and I saw these guys like out there. You're there for 3 months. There's not a ton to do. I saw these guys out there playing what was pickleball, and I didn't know what pickleball was at the time. Uh, they had some rinky dink court out there, and it was like on a half court basketball thing, and crappy net, paddles that have been left out in the rain, it was just the bottom of the barrel for
Yeah.
pickleball that I've seen since then. But it was so cool because everybody loved it. Everybody loved the game out there. People would come tell me about it, like, dude, you got to play this. You're gonna love it. You would really like it. And soon enough, sure as I tried it, I was one of the people that were out there playing it, every day, every chance we could get. We were setting up little tournaments where we would get going on the weekends. So when I left out of there, I kept it going, and kept playing it, and then that led to making content around it.
hmm Prior to pickleball, did you make content, or did content creation come after pickleball?
Content creation, it kind of came at the same time. So I wasn't making content until I got out of there. Wasn't sure what I was going to do at the time. I had sold a home I owned, and so I had a little bit of time where it's like, all right, I got some time. I don't have to just rush into getting a job. I've got a few months, and I started making videos because I've always enjoyed comedy and just making people laugh. And so the video thing just kind of came from doing something that I just enjoy. And I was trying to find things to make content around, and pickleball obviously was something that I was doing at the time. And so I started just making funny videos about pickleball. And then that's when I realized, like, once they started to do well and kind of take off, I realized that I was involving myself in this world of just, this popular growing sport. I had no
hmm
clue, what I was really, in getting into, so it was really cool. So it just kind of happened right at the same time, really.
Yeah. Something you said that kind of, hits home with me. So I'm actually the child of two parents that were both addicted to methamphetamines all through the
Mm,
late 80s and early 90s. So addiction runs in my family. I'm an
yeah.
extremely addicted person. They've always made jokes about me growing up that, like, if I do something, I have to do it 100%. So, you know,
Yeah.
it's funny. We align with two of the same pretty extreme subcultures, being CrossFit and pickleball, both very addictive.
Yeah.
Um,
That's true.
question. I got a good question. So what would make you more nervous, going to a new CrossFit gym or stepping
Oh.
on the 4.5 challenge court in pickleball?
Honestly, I think that's a great question. I think going to a new CrossFit workout for the first time would make me nervous only because I always get nervous about the workout, what it's gonna be. You know?
So
So it's
if you
like,
can't
I don't
cherry
know how
pick it.
intense it's gonna be. Yeah, or I'm gonna be lagging behind, or I'm gonna be,
Yeah.
so it's not really about the people. It's more about, just what I'm about to partake in. But, yeah, 4.5, I can go out there and know that I'm gonna probably get worked at 4.5 unless it's, I've got a really good partner that's also
Yep.
4.5 and I'm able to back them up enough. So
Well, that's great.
what
As a
about you? What
creator,
about you? What do you
oh
think you
man.
would
Well, if we go back to February, so in February I was going through a divorce and I was like
Yeah.
312 pounds. I've always been a fan of, like, I've been in CrossFit. I CrossFit coached years ago.
Oh, cool.
So coming from that, I would agree that CrossFit would have been more nerve wracking. And that's more so because, like, I have this idea of my head of like what I was. So
Yeah.
like it is a little embarrassing to get out there and kind of start over.
Yeah. That's true.
And again, so like I would say expectations. Like I know what to expect on that pickleball court versus CrossFit, where I might show up and just get crushed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I would agree. I think CrossFit's a little more intimidating to step out on, but I would say
Yeah.
they're both pretty intimidating depending on where you are. I have,
100%. Yeah.
when I first started pickleball, I still have stories from when I was a 3.5, really wanting to play with those 4.0 guys. And there
Yeah.
was these old, and some of your comedy like hits home with this, but like I remember this old guy Jerry, and like just like that click of like trying to get into those games and how they like it was so funny.
Yeah, yeah. It's so funny how that's like this the case across the board. Like any
Yeah.
pickleball court you go to, you can find those people,
You can find
anywhere you
Donna,
can
you can
go.
find
You can find, oh,
yeah.
they're there. Yeah, they're 100% there.
Oh, that's great. Um, so as a creator, you're big. I mean, you got double the followers of Ben Johns. He's nobody. But have you ever hit, posted that skit and been like, this one's gonna get me in trouble?
Yeah, yeah, that happens all the time, really. I mean, I've kinda learned, like, I've had to know when to dial it back because, like, when you do this full time, a lot of it's like, well, you work with companies, right? So, like,
Hmm.
you've gotta be marketable, you've gotta remain kind of in a space, and, like, the as, like, a creator, as someone who likes to create things, that can be tough because it's like, well, here's what I really want to do, but because I know that I need to, dial it back some, I've got to do this, and it's almost like giving up a little making a little bit of sacrifice so that you
Yeah.
can be marketable and stuff. And so, a lot of the stuff I post is with brands, so
Hmm.
it's like usually in that case, like working with a brand, especially, excuse me, they sometimes they'll have kind of an outline of what you want to do. Most of the good ones will kind of just tell you like, "Hey, we just want you to do your thing. Like, we trust what you're going to do with it." And then they just know that I'm going to not put something out there that's going to make the company look bad or make the product look bad, but still try to make something that's funny and engageable
Yeah.
and, something that they can use. But then there's those, skits where I get to put out that's like just mine, not working with anybody, and I'm just gonna make whatever it is I want. But then at the same time, there's the thought that's like, okay, well, that's good. It's not associated with a brand or anything. But if someone I work with sees this, or if someone like I did one the other day, I did one the other day with the paddle between my ass crack, and
That
I
one was
was
so
like,
good.
I was thinking, damn, is someone gonna see this and like, you know, think so? Well, no, we can't work with Evan anymore. He's sticking pickleball paddles up his ass. So no, but
When you
that
did
was
like the
kind
level
of the
two and you
thought.
flipped it around.
Yeah, yeah, the advanced version. So I try to be as creative as I can be and like stick to like, all right. I mean, I got friends, in this space too that one of them's a really, really, really funny guy. His account's called Semi Stupid, and his name's David Brubaker. He's got a big account on TikTok and on Instagram, but he does these funny like green screen videos
Hmm.
where he like cuts himself into movie scenes. So
Okay.
it's like, like it'll be some old movie scene with John Travolta, and then like he is the other actor in that scene
Yeah.
instead of what the other scene was, and like he's saying like really just funny, just off the wall stuff that's obviously not what they were talking
Yeah.
about in the movie, So it's really really funny, and then yeah, I'd kind of met with him a couple times, and he's someone that still, because we were talking like, because he was making money at it, doing his thing, and I went out there to fly out there and make content with him, and we were just kind of talking through business side of things, and I was just kind of telling him about like, yeah, the key is kind of just to, to make yourself marketable, basically
Hmm.
I was saying like, some of the stuff that you put out might hurt your chances to work with
Yeah.
company, but he's just so like he doesn't care, he's gonna do
Hmm.
his thing. He's gonna like, and I honor that and respect that. And it's like, yeah,
Heck
man,
yeah.
do it, dude. Like you'll still get those jobs and everything, but just know like if you wanted to really open it up, you have to sacrifice some of that. And I think
Hmm.
that's what's tough about the creator side of it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. Like you kind of have to weigh like, because you can be, I mean, we're both veterans, so like our humor
Yeah.
is going to be off the charts, probably a little dark for some people. So I'm sure you have to
Yeah,
like kind
yeah.
of weigh like what's going to hit, but what's still going to stay marketable for the brand. So that makes a lot of sense there.
Right.
That's
Yep.
actually really cool to think about. All right, so
It's
as a
something a lot of
veteran,
creators don't
oh, go
think
ahead.
about, Sorry. It's something a lot
Yeah,
of creators
no, you're
don't
good.
like, people that are trying to be a creator might
Yeah.
not think about. So it's like when people talk about advice, like just keep that in the back of your mind. Like, how can I make
Hmm.
something but also still be marketable?
Yeah, and that's the thing. You don't want to dilute it so much that then you're not
Yeah.
marketable because you're trying to be a robot
Yeah,
for a
yeah,
company.
that's right. That's right.
So we're both veterans. I was Navy, you're Army. Go Navy.
Yep.
What is something you think you learned from the military that kind of helps you kind of excel in your space? Like, do you feel like the military brought you any skills that, you use today that kind of separate you?
I would say definitely just more humor, like some of
Yeah,
the funniest people I've met that were in the military, some of the
100,
funniest times I've had were like deployment moments,
100%.
when you're finding things to laugh about that you're in a moment
Yeah.
and in a time where you're like, doesn't make sense to be joking around or laughing, but that's how you survive. That's how you get through. So I definitely would say it's added to the humor side of things. It's also, the work ethic's there for sure. I mean, I've definitely gotten away from some of that. Like that was one of the benefits I think while I was in the Army is like, well, and I mean, as you know, it's like, all right, you're told where to be, when to be there, what to wear, they basically dictate all that. So you don't have to think
Yep.
through that. And it kind of creates some discipline there, where it kind of gets you in a routine. And I've
Hmm.
tried to hang on to that as much as I could, but they didn't, I've gotten away from that. Just as I've gotten older, it's kind of just been
Yep.
easy to just kind of move past that some.
Hmm.
So I would really just say mainly the humor side of things.
All right. All right. Let's do a hot take. What is the most
All right.
overrated thing in pickleball?
Ooh, most overrated thing in pickleball. I would say this is getting me. I would say singles play.
Okay. Okay.
Singles play. I think a lot of people don't play it as much anymore. You don't see it as often, but man, I've tried singles. I've tried getting into singles, and for me, it's just something I stay away from for sure.
I definitely think that leans more towards the tennis crowd for sure, like singles play.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Favorite paddle?
It's the Valere Fit to Serve paddle. No, so I do have my own
That's a Mach
paddle.
Mach 2 Forza, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
with my face on it, and
Yep.
it's called the Fit One. I think it's actually not even the fours. I think it's more like just the Mach 1, the base model.
Okay.
But it was just kind of done as like a limited edition thing. But the Valere Shift paddle that just came out is quickly becoming my number one. It's kind of Dylan
Okay.
Frazier's thing,
Yep.
and it's pretty sweet. It plays really well. It's got that foam core that they're starting to
Hmm.
do now, so it's pretty sweet.
Like it. Like it. Are you gonna do you and Ryan have a signature model of that coming out?
I wish.
Uh,
No, that'd be cool though. They do so much licensing stuff now too. There's a
yeah.
lot of cool paddles. Like I'm just looking. I'll grab this one real quick. Like they do a lot of pro team stuff. So like
Okay.
this is the Predators, Nashville Predators
Yep.
hockey team. So they'll do like these pickleball nights with
Yeah.
them, and they're doing it for so many pro teams, and it's cool because
Hmm.
they'll like help bring pickleball to these pro stadiums, and they do this pickleball night. They hand out paddles to the first however many guests, and then they also sell them there. Um, but so there's a lot of cool designs with that, and they've done like Disney designs too. They've got the SpongeBob stuff. They've got
SpongeBob, I've seen that.
SpongeBob's cool. I think they've got a Spider-Man one coming out if it's not already
Okay.
out. Working on Spider-Man. Yeah, Betty Bop, that old school cartoon thing.
Oh yeah, my mom was big into that one.
Bunch of art collabs that they do. So there's some cool trying to think of the artist's name, Dan something. Anyways, they did like an art collab with
Yeah.
one of a famous artist that's got this on the paddle. Those are probably close to some of my favorite paddles too. Not for play, but just for how cool it looks.
Hmm. I like that. And then, like with the sports teams and stuff, like anything, I think anything that can get pickleball in the hands of people that maybe aren't playing pickleball yet, like that's awesome. So I do like what
Yeah.
Blair's doing there. That's really cool. Like with the sports teams and stuff, anything to get the
Yeah,
paddle in more
yeah.
hands, grow the sport.
100%.
All right. Well, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know you're super busy, but before we go, well, I would love for you to plug any of your stuff. I know you have a podcast I saw that's coming. Where can people
Yeah,
follow
yeah.
you, and like what passion projects you have going on that you'd love to, get out there?
Cool, yeah. So there's a couple of things going on right now. The series I did with Chubby's called First just came out yesterday, and it's this 3-episode miniseries. Chubby's Clothing. I worked with Chubby's Clothing for a while, making content for them, and they came last year, and we made this series called First with Evan, where it's like they take me around and do things for the first time, kind of overcoming fears and trying things for the first time. And so there's 3 episodes, and the first one and they would surprise me with what the thing is gonna be, right? So
So you
it was
didn't know
all I
beforehand?
didn't know. I had an idea on some of them, like, they would tell me little things like, "Hey, you might wanna perform a stand-up comedy routine for about 5
Yeah.
minutes." Like, be ready to have a stand-up comedy routine ready to go, that kind of stuff. So I knew I was going to be doing that at some point. So I'd
Okay.
written this little, 3 to 5 minute thing. And yeah, go around, do things for the first time. And I mean, it's done really well. Production's
Okay.
off the charts. They've had like a sound guy, a camera crew, all these. It was done like a TV show. It's out on YouTube now. I think they're releasing one episode a week, maybe.
Okay. I'll put that in the show notes too,
Cool.
so people
Yeah.
can
So
find it.
that's jumping. And then yeah, the podcast I'm doing with a buddy of mine, another military vet friend, is coming out soon. I think the first episode will be in February 27th. We're going to North Carolina to do 2 more episodes next week. And
Awesome.
it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be fun. It'll be the first time I've done something like that. And it is like veteran, it is kind of veteran. There'll be some military tactical talk and stuff, but we're trying to do things different where it's like we'll have guests on that aren't, military vets. There will have guests,
Hmm.
just people that are just, friends of veterans or have some kind of interest in that space, which is different than what you see with a lot of military podcasts. So
Yeah.
I'm stoked about it, man. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And the guys we're doing it with are really cool. So that'll be out. It's called Light Duty, the Light Duty
Light duty.
podcast.
Okay.
So we're going to keep it light, keep it fun, and yeah, just talk about all kinds of stuff on there. Production
For those
quality
of you
is
guys
really good
watching that
on
don't
that too.
understand, light duty is like you can get like a chit and be like limited light duty. I've seen people get sneakers chits to get like
Yeah.
not have to wear the boots and the
Oh,
even
dude.
cover chits.
So the guy that really is heading this up, his name's Kevin. He owns Savage Tacticians Clothing Company. It's like a
Oh,
military.
I have some of his clothes.
Okay, yeah. So he's the
Yeah.
guy that owns Savage Tacticians. He's one that we're doing the podcast with. He's more of like putting it on. He's going to be in a couple episodes, but it's going to be me and another dude that are actually hosting it. So there's 3 of us,
Mhm.
but Kevin's behind the scenes, kind of the man of the running the operation. Uh, and he's a Marine vet, and me and the other guy are Army vets. And
Mhm.
so we were coming up with the name of it. We were telling him about getting on profile. It's called being on profile. So like what a chit is for the Marine Corps, profile is for the Army. So like we would
Okay.
have, like you were talking about the chit where they couldn't wear boots, we call
Boots.
that
Yeah.
a soft shoe profile. So it was
Okay.
called a soft shoe profile. So you could wear sneakers or whatever with your uniform. So it was just funny the differences. But yeah, it's same thing. That's light duty. Kind of like we're
Love it.
past our military time. We're on light duty
Yep.
now.
Amen to that. All right.
Yeah.
Well, again, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to come on my show. It was awesome. I
Yeah,
look
man.
forward to, continuing to follow you and, we'll keep in touch. But again, I can't
Heck
thank you
yeah.
enough. I hope you have a great day.
Yeah, dude, you too, man. I appreciate it. It was fun.
All right.